Hey guys, welcome back to the Intersect Podcast. This is episode 28. If you didn't catch last one, it was Dan the Walking Man. Beautiful man. Little shaved head, just like Stafford, who is not here today. I have Fern with me, who's going to keep me in high spirits. And yeah, exactly. We're going to have a lot of fun. Yeah, Stafford is... He's not here today because we're doing a JP solo episode to talk about me, which not very comfortable with, but we're getting out of our comfort zone. We're trying new things. So we're going to get it done, no matter how awkward or how long this takes. But for starters, those who don't know, I'm JP. I like to make a lot of horrendous jokes, wear a lot of horrendous shirts, and sometimes I forget to engage too much with the guests because I'm just enjoying and listening on their stories. But today I would be doing lots of talking, as it is going to be about me and not so much Fern. Fern's just keeping me company. Isn't that right, buddy? Hold up. We fist bump because we're gangsters. All right. Well, to start, I guess we normally ask the question of, give us a background. So I'm from just out of Onslow up north. I grew up out in the stations up there for a while. And then I did boarding school here in Geraldton and then lived in Exmouth for a little bit. Moved to Geraldton, and that's how I become a Gerra boy, and then met Stafford at the gym and then joined this podcast and started putting out stories and videos. That's a very, very rough background of me. We'll dive into it a bit more. Yes, this episode we're just going to answer a couple questions about me, and then I'll dive into some things I've gone through and how I've worked around them all, and I guess become me. Some of the questions I get were like... I've got a list of questions here, so I'll rip through them real quick. A bit more of who I am. Am I bald? No, I have hair. I also always wear a hat. That's kind of, I don't know, I just have hat hair. That's why I don't take it off, because it's just, I don't know, it's comfy. I like it. Keeps me shaded, and it's good. Is JP my real name? Yes and no. My real name is Joe Parr, hyphenated, which is, I don't know, just happened. It's how I was given this name by my lovely mother. Yeah, shout out to her, absolute legend. Gonna go see her after this. Why do I always wear such horrendous shirts? As you can see, well, I'm not in a horrendous shirt. I'm in the only jumper thing I own because I'm feeling relaxed today. Why do I wear such horrendous shirts? I wear them because I think it's really funny. Plus, it is really funny. Some of them I have more ordered, but it takes a while to get here. They're more of just a proof of concept that, you know, no one really looks at what you're wearing or looks at you or studies you too hard, because I have shirts like one of them says "Sounds Gay I'm In," and I wear it to the gym all the time and whatnot, and I'll stay in the shirt the whole time. I've probably had 2 people, like friends of mine, that have noticed what I'm wearing, but proof of concept, no one really pays attention to what you're wearing or what you're doing, which is good. It means you can get away with a lot of stuff, like being awkward, messing up an exercise, or, you know, just strutting down weird or not wanting to talk. You pretty well cruise along in life. It's good. That's how it should be. And then the most common question I always get is, why am I always in such a good mood? Why am I so happy? What makes me tick? You know, like what really gets me going? And to that, we're going to have to take a step back to 10 years ago. I was doing boarding school here in Geraldton. being away from my family and stuff, and just crammed in these little prison rooms, and you get told all these things and whatnot. So you don't have a lot of it's not bad, but it's definitely not the greatest time. And I remember being in my room one night, being a sad little boy because don't know, I was just feeling sad. Can't remember the reason, if there was a reason, but I remember just sitting there being not happy and just not having a good time. And then two things actually hit me at once. I don't know where I heard the first one, but it goes, if you can be sad for no reason, you can be happy for no reason. And that really resonated with me in the fact that I literally sat up and thought, there is nothing that, there is no reason to be sad, I suppose. Like, I may as well be happy. And from then on, I just started really pursuing that kind of, ideology of why not just be happy, which it's hard to do, but if you can do it, it just makes life so much more enjoyable. I think, honestly, like yes, you will still have the occasional down times and stuff, but you should always try and focus, which is where I always focus on the positives of any scenario, which helps me get through a lot of stuff. Like, I've been through a couple of things and whatnot. For example, if something goes wrong, like anything, could be something small, something big. Oh, I don't have what I want for breakfast today. But I go, well, this means I can try something new. Or, wait, the line's too long for, I don't know, this fast food joint. Well, time to go somewhere new. Or they don't quite have the right this, time to, always choose a different option. Like, don't think of it as, wow, there's nothing here, this is not what I want. Wow, disappointed. So I always like to think, well, time to, why not? Maybe it is good to try this or do something new, or like, that's not going to ruin my day because, there's so much more that can be done, which is good. It's very good mindset to have, but there's ups and downs with it. The downside, I suppose, is now, I would say for me, because this episode's about me, we'll talk about how I feel like I need to always be happy now. Like, if I'm in a bad mood, I'll just kind of, or like, not feeling it, just put it down, put it to the side, be happy, or deal with it later, which is very unhealthy and not obviously the greatest way to do things, which I have been working on. I've been self-reflecting a lot as doing the podcast with Fern and staff. You spend a lot of time interviewing all these people and talking about their, what they've been through, how they deal with stuff. And it's eye-opening to find what would work and how you should do some things and what keeps you, how you should put processes in place, or like, do your micro movements to manage this and that, to get going and get motivated, which is, like I said, eye-opening, because you can really put those processes in place and like be like, all right, cool, I'm not feel like doing anything, or I don't feel like getting out of bed, just the micro movements, one foot after the other, take the blanket off, get it, and slow it back down. Put yourself in the moment, per se, because it's too fast. You got to bring it back. You're doing too much at once. You slow it down. And that's kind of how you keep on track. Getting lost on track here, sorry. I said that two things hit me at once back in when I was a sad boy in boarding like 10 years ago. The second one, someone definitely would have said it, but I remember thinking to myself about regret. Like, oh, I didn't go do that, or I didn't say this, or I haven't done that. And I came up with the term, someone said it, I don't know who, I will quote this man. Fern said it, actually. We're going to go with that. Fern definitely said it. You will always regret it more not doing it than doing it. You would always regret not doing it more than you will regret doing it, which is obviously you just got to do it. Like, get out your comfort zone, push on. For example, me, I got out of my comfort zone to do this podcast thing because, number one, I'm a very reserved individual. Like, if you see me outside in the wild or at the gym, pretty straight-faced. I'm pretty just in my little zone, won't really make an effort to talk to anyone unless, like, if I know them already, I'll just be like, yep, what's going on? But I don't, like, go out my way to meet all these people and whatnot. I kind of keep it to myself and very hidden from the world, which is, I don't know, it's just the way I live my life. It's peaceful. It's nice. I don't like to get in too much strife. And this is where Stafford's going to normally chimes in about having a couple beverages and having a fat time, which does happen. Yeah, but that's just enjoying life. You got to have your ups and downs, all right? You got to enjoy and indulge. It's okay to have, a little cheeky, night full of beverages every now and then. Just not every night because, you got to realize if there is a problem, which is not good. So I need some water. Sorry if I'm rambling too. Apologies. Me and Fern are not quite used to doing a whole episode just me and him cruising and me just chatting mad shit. One thing I've learnt from doing the podcast, which affects me a lot, is the self-reflecting aspect. I feel like I have grown as an adult a lot into the point of I can recognize what I do and how I should fix things. And the one thing that I've realized most recently is being hard on yourself. I personally take this to another level because I grew up obviously very isolated out in the middle middle of yonder, and I had an older brother who was 1 year and 1 day older, and so from birth till now, continuously, I have been not fighting, but trying to be, I guess, the better person and trying to be number one, which is when you're a child, trying to fight someone that's like, trying to beat someone that's a year older than you is quite difficult. And he could obviously do more before me because he was older and he was more this and that. So I was always fighting an uphill battle, I would say, which is what really drove me to try to obviously do better and be better. Like, I personally am very hard on myself, which I've noticed since doing the podcast. I've never satisfied, never happy with what I do. Like, I'm happy with it, but not to the point where I'll be like, yeah, no, we're good. Like, not a chance. I will always push further on because I'm just in this mindset of not good enough. Like, I've done a lot of things in my life, in my time on this earth, where I should have done them a million times different and I'm not happy how I did them, or I've messed up this, or I didn't quite for example, I suffered with like communication issues a lot in previous years and not talking about stuff and not being able to express things and really putting it on me, being like, I need to do better and I need to do this, and which is it's not ideal. It's tough, especially tough to talk about, as you can probably tell. I'm stumbling over my own words and rambling a little. But, yeah, you get stuck in this little hole of give me 3 months or give me 6 months. I need to work on it. And then you say you've gone from this level to this level, right? For those that don't know, I'm holding one hand down at chest height and another hand at like head height. I've gone from that level to that level, but at the same time, I'm not satisfied. I'm not where I want to be, which is you're always chasing your tail. You're never going to be there, which makes things difficult because I'll always try to do better. And I project that on to a lot of people, I would say. Like, I always want everyone to do the best they can. And a lot of people, which is great for them, they're satisfied. They're happy with what they've done or where they're at or how well they're doing, which nothing wrong with that. It's how it should be. But I personally don't feel that way. I would always rather do better and do more. And it's not it's not great. Like, it takes a toll on you. I always wanted to like do better, help more, give more, but you can only do so much before you need to like accept help and accept that, you're in a good spot, which I try to do, but it doesn't always work for me. Like, I'm happy all the time, but I'm not always in that like spot where I'm like, all right, cool. Like, that's done. We're done. We're happy with a good that. It's never satisfying, which is hard to get the appreciator side in, only for myself, but I can always appreciate what people do, or how they put in the effort, or what they've done, which is a beautiful thing to see. And there's no better feeling than seeing someone like appreciate and be happy with what they've done and where they're at and whatnot. But I've just never got that, I've always wanted to push for more or do better. And yeah, I don't know, it has to do with, like I said, I got it from competing with my brother all the time to now I'm competing with everyone. It's one of those, you're not trying to be a jack of, like, you're trying to be a jack of all trades, but you're also trying to be better than everyone who's been doing, say, a trade for, not a trade, but like done that specific thing for X amount of time and is so much better because, once again, can't be second. Second's first loser, Ricky Bobby. I wake up in the morning and I piss excellence. You know who that's aimed at. That's for you, buddy. I hope you appreciate that, Mr. Colleague. Sorry, I just had to get that out. I make this reference a lot with one of my colleagues. So that's a bit about me and I guess how I am such a competitive and horrendous person to be around occasionally. But I think it's a good bad thing to have. You gotta. It keeps me driven. Keeps me driven to a point where I'm just doing the best I can at all times, which, comes with its negatives. But for me, I've done it the whole time, so I'm a fan of them, to be honest. Sounds horrendous to say, but that's just how it is. Another thing I've come to notice about doing the podcast is there's nothing more like rewarding than being your genuine self 100% of the time and people appreciating it or liking it, because I would always, I guess, you know how it is growing up, you act certain ways with certain peoples and this, and I feel like I've kind of genuinely been pretty blanket term across the board in life, not recently, but consistently for the last year, I would say, maybe more, on just no holding back. I'm just going to be me and just take it or leave it kind of aspect, which is hard to do from someone that was quote unquote a people pleaser, because I was always, I don't know, got to keep not saying the wrong things, but say the right things and make sure everyone's good and sorted and happy. But yeah, being your genuine self and then having people appreciate that. Like all the boys. Shout out to the Zumba Club, you boys. You're fucking goated, all right? There's nothing better than having just people where you're just you and everyone fucking loves it. And yeah, that's the little squad of boys, the Zumba Club. I actually believe it's called some horrendous name at the moment. Club Where JP Where, because I was complaining about something months ago. But yeah, that's there's nothing better than having a group of friends like that, building that little community of everyone's just genuinely themselves, and there's no judgment in there. There's no, there's no need to not be reserved or anything. You just say what you want, and the boys are being the boys. And we're honest, if you fuck up or you're not doing as good, we'll tell you. It's good. Full honesty, full appreciation, and it's just so wholesome. Yeah. Appreciate you, boys. I don't know how Staff does these, he did his solo episode and just rambled on for hours. Like, I have stuff to ramble about, but like I said, I'm a very reserved person, so I've kind of keeping a lot of that stuff just to me because I don't believe I'm ready to put that out anywhere. That's just a bit too much. Like, I already feel out of my comfort zone talking about, being happy all the time and not being satisfied and not liking the way that I do stuff and not, your past self you've never happy with, and motivation, like staying motivated to be happy. The way, like, for me, I'm very old school. I grew up, have a teaspoon of cement, harden the fuck up, work hard, just go. That was it, So I've kind of very David Goggins spec, the old fucking who's going to carry the boats, to the point where quotes get me going. You tell me a quote about some Spartan fighting 100 Spartans, and I'll be like, that's crazy. I'm going to go lift 1,000,000 kilos and try my hardest at anything. And I've read a lot of I have a little actually stash of quotes that I keep for the podcast that I'll ramble off some now that have actually get me going and really make me think. For one, the longer the delay, the bigger the ask you can make. It's like that leap of the longer you wait to jump, the harder it's going to be to jump. The only right time to do something is then. There's no waiting. One of those things, don't live with the regret. And quotes like that that's what makes me tick. That's what really I try to embody at all times. I try to be like, all right, cool, just say yes. Go for it. Do this, have a good time. Really get out your comfort zone. Ask that awkward question. Go on that awkward date. Do the podcast. Go to the gym. All this stuff where you just need to get out your comfort zone, and you just need to do it. Do it then, because if you wait, then I'll go then and this, and it builds up on you. And if you let it build too long, it can be a bit overwhelming and a bit daunting, and you won't ever really push that far. Like, for my brother, he's shout out to him. He doesn't know about these, so we'll keep that quiet. He is a very comfort zone orientated man, which is not that good. He needs to get, obviously he works up in isolation, so he doesn't spend a lot of time out with humans and stuff. But he stays in his comfort zone. He won't go out. He won't go jump off this, or if you hype him up enough and get him going, he can go. But he doesn't do it out of his, like, if I left him alone, he wouldn't go do all these cool things, which does suck. But when I catch up with him, I'll be sure to get him out of his comfort zone and go meet all these people and do this and do that, and it's a good wholesome feeling. The next wholesome feeling. One other question I get asked is about the being happy all the time. Is the helping others. There's no better feeling than you've been in a shit spot before and you've crawled your way out and you've done this. There's no better feeling than being in a position where you can help someone else in that rut, I suppose. Like, there's the fact that you're in that position to help them or guide them, and you give them the talk that they need. You go hang out with them. You take them for a drive. You take them to get food, or they need some stress. They're under stress from this, or financial stress, and you can help them out. Or there's like they're struggling emotionally, you can talk through it all with them or just be an ear. There's no better feeling or reward you get from being able to do that for someone. That's the most like enlightening and like upbringing feeling you can have when you know that you can help someone that was in a position that you were in. And you just, there's no better feeling. More people need to do it. You need to, if everyone just helped out each other, the world would be perfect. And like I'm used to be bad. I used to not want to help and I'll be left alone, but I've changed. And you can change too. We'll change the world. Me, Fern, Staff, and you guys. We'll change the world for the better. Make sure everyone helps everyone. Because as Staff always says, doesn't cost anything to be nice. Doesn't cost anything. It is free. And it's a beautiful saying. I like it. Fern likes it too. Sometimes I forget you're here, Fern. My apologies. He's just listening in. He's got his headphones on. I just want to quickly talk about the future of the podcast. We have a lot of stuff planned over the next couple months, which you guys are going to be able to see. We're getting close to the end, but I just want to chuck in a couple more questions that I have been asked. A really important one is why am I as flexible as a brick? And I'm going to put it down to genetics to a certain degree because no other reason. For the stretching part, I have been trying. I would say I'm not still stretching as much as I should. Shout out Jolie, Jazz, all the pole dancing ladies, all that. I do try stretch, right? Don't judge me too hard. I haven't gotten anywhere. I think I've gotten worse, to be honest. But we're getting there. We're slow and steadily getting there. But I'm going to put it down to genetics because I also, since a kid, never been able to, the hands behind the back or the sit cross-legged or the put my leg in a bend like even when Staff puts his leg up, I just can't. Oh, hey, we're going to block those toes out. That shit costs money. Oh, God. I feel like I'm going crazy here. I've been talking at this camera for 50 minutes, almost an hour. And you guys are only going to see this half-hour clip because there was a lot of rambling and I was not satisfied. But we're only bringing you the good stuff because we keep out the terrible things. Only the best for you because me, Fern and Staff, we appreciate you guys so much. And we've recently gotten up to 500 followers on the Instagram. We've gotten, if you would have seen our Instagram post about having 50,000 views and listens all over everything. That's crazy. That's actually mind-blowing. I don't even think I know half of, if not a quarter of 500 people. Maybe. But it's crazy to think about how many of you there are, how supportive you guys all are. Like, we get a lot of love come through the Instagram and everything, and we appreciate it so much. There's no better feeling than hearing people say, hey, like, we appreciate what you're doing and we appreciate you guys. Like, we don't do this for, like I said, personal gain or money or anything. We do this because we want to help and we want to do better and we want to make sure everyone else gets a chance to, speak their stories or have a chance to listen, or if they need some way of coping, they know that they can. One of these ways might work. Like if you listen to Rob's episode or how Jolie does it through Pilates or Jazz with pole dancing and stuff. And there's, a million different avenues, and it's just nice to get them out there and help you guys out because it's just amazing the feedback we get for doing this, which, not going to lie, it's not always easy. It's like this, just 1, 2, and 3 right now. It's hard to do. It's hard to talk about, and it's uncomfortable, especially trying to talk about yourself. But we do it because we know that you guys will listen, you'll give your feedback, and it's a beautiful system, and we appreciate it. Another question I get asked is confidence. Why am I so confident all the time? And it comes back to that you'll always regret it more not doing it than doing it, which is where it pushes you out your comfort zone. And I wouldn't say I'm that confident. I just put myself in a position where I'll say yes or I'll do this. And like, it's an eye opener. There's no better thing than forcing yourself in that awkward situation and then growing from it. Another thing to boost confidence for me was the gym. Was also a big confidence booster because of the fact that I started 3 years ago now, I would say. So I've been going for 3 years pretty consistent. Not pretty consistent. 3 years consistent. And I took some advice from a good friend of mine. Shout out to Joel. He told me, don't try to cut down and lose weight when you start the gym. Just try to eat more and get as big as you can, like muscles. So I listened to his advice and I went for the first year. I went to the gym and ate more, and I started getting noticeable results and feeling good. And then I cut down to 80 kilos. And I felt good at the time, but I also felt really skinny because I hadn't been going that long. So my muscles weren't that big or developed or matured. And then I was like, that's it, I need a bulk. So I forcibly went from 80 kilos over a year. I got up to 111 was my peak bulk, which is pretty big. And weirdly, I felt better at, I reckon, about 110 than 80 because I just felt like I could move mountains. Obviously, I look back at the photos now, didn't look good. And then I've recently come off the bulk and gone down to 80 kilos and looked pretty good. And that mega confidence boost. The fact when you start, when you wear a shirt in the pool back when you're a kid and then now you just take your shirt off because you know that you can do that and you're in the sun and it works. Oh, there's no better feeling. That's a good feeling. That's what you want. The progress you get. That's another big confidence booster for me. Otherwise, normally, like I said, I am actually not that confident. I just put myself in a position to where I've awkwardly made it to somehow here and now I've got to be like, all right, let's figure it out. Like, if you've ever been asked to go do something, or like for me, it was like going to do breakdowns. As being a mechanic, I get frightened because I'm like, I have no clue what's going on here. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll always say yes and then just figure it out as I go, which obviously I'm a pretty good mechanic, so I figure it out all the time, but it's a strange feeling. You meet up with these people and you got to just put yourself in that position of, all right, well, now here's the time to grow. But that would be how I'm more confident, I would say. I also got asked about a haircut. The haircut is coming. I get a haircut around once a year, maybe more, just when the hair gets long enough to where it starts getting in the way. And then I'll just chop it back to, don't know, I've never been to a hairdresser for the last 8 years, so whoever cuts it, they just chop it to a certain length and I'll live with that. That's how I do it. We're getting through the list. Another question on there. This was asked by staff about, why am I so old? Because I have never really watched TV ever. Like I said, I grew up out on the stations, so we didn't even have reception growing up. So I've never really watched TV ever. So there's a lot of movie references that I've seen that I know, like movies. We used to have a bunch of movies, really old movies. And so I know all the old movie references with staff, but I couldn't tell you any TV shows or any recent news. And I live under a rock. Like I don't have Facebook. I don't go to the news. I don't watch TV. I don't listen to the radio. So my only news feed is from people around me and or a bit of Instagram, and that's about it. So I'm live under a bit of a rock, and it makes me seem old, and I'm a wise old man. I'm as flexible as an old man.
Did he kill you guys? Are you okay? Are you okay? Like, genuinely, are you okay? Because I need to know for my sanity if he hurt you. If he hurt you, let me know. I hope the episode was good. Yes, thank you guys for listening to that episode. Obviously, I wasn't in it because I was in Perth. I hope the episode was good. I haven't listened to it. I've seen little clips, and so far it's pretty funny.
You should be nervous.
But yeah, I'm going to be exactly like you guys, and I'm going to be listening to it on Monday with my very own ears, with zero input on what happened or what has been said.
Yeah, look, don't judge me too much, right? It was strange doing, I guess, everything for a change. All the editing, all the doing, all this making that, which it was a bit wild, but, you know, I feel like I got through it. It was a bit awkward, but we live. Fern was a good co-host.
I can hear you.
Oh, he loves his headphones. I actually have a set of headphones now, so me and Fern can share one ear each. No, but yeah, there's a bit of rambling. Hope you guys enjoyed, and sorry if you don't like it. It was first time doing it solo, so
no, I
strange.
genuinely think it's going to be really good. Well, I think it's going to be really good. I do know from doing a solo episode, it's fucking whack. It's weird. It's just such a weird feeling. But yeah, no, I'm genuinely like curious and excited to hear it as like an actual listener.
Yeah,
not being a part of really anything.
Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Can't wait for it to come out on Monday. And just for future reference, we have some big stuff coming.
I actually talked about this.
Oh, did you? Okay, see, I haven't. I don't know what the fuck's in the episode. So.
I didn't talk about too much. I just said we got a lot coming.
Yeah, sick. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
you guys know more than I do. So, yeah, no, we've got some big stuff coming. So I'm very excited for you guys to, listen, and I'm very excited to experience it all.
Yeah.
So, we thought we'd do a bit of an outro. Dude's killing it. Thank you, JP. Give him a round of applause. And for Fern.
Fern, you did well, mate. You're the star of the show.
He was a wicked co-host. He didn't really say much, but
I mean, I was listening. But yeah, I guess we kind of covered all bases.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks. Hope you guys enjoyed.
And if you, just like always, if you have a story or anything that you want to share on the podcast, make sure you send it through to intersect.pod24@hotmail.com, and also go over, just so you guys know, subscribing, rating our show, liking, comments, all that type of stuff. It helps us. We want to become the best community in Australia for mental health, well-being, comedy, all that type of stuff. So we need your help. We need you to go over, subscribe, like, comment on our stuff on Instagram, on YouTube, on Spotify. If you can rate our show out of 5 stars, I don't care if it's 1. I doubt it is, because we're just them. We are them. So if you can...
We have Fern.
Yeah, Fern's now 5 stars. 5-star lettuce in my sandwich.
Could eat him.
I would. But yeah, thanks guys for watching.
Yeah.
See you guys next week.
Peace.
Bye.